I didn't get enough information about this prior to the stream. I was looking, I couldn't find anything. I could not find anything, but apparently Sony is going to censor Stellar Blade on day one. Now, this is completely opposite of what we were just hearing, not only just a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago, we were hearing about the fact that they will not be censoring Stellar Blade anywhere at all. Now, I don't know if this is a move of Sony's or if it's a move of Shift Up. I think it's a move of Sony's, right? But apparently it's a thing. So here's what's interesting about all this, okay? This was brought up. You guys know who this was brought up by. So this was brought up by a urinalist that goes by the name of Kat Bailey. All right, Kat Bailey is if you want to call him a journalist, right? If you want to call her a journalist, she's a journalist over at IGN. Okay? Kat Bailey, like most of these urinalists, are playing Stellar Blade disingenuously. They're playing Stellar Blade to look for problems. That's what they're doing. It's kind of like the people who were playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and instead of playing the game, they were looking to see how many black or gay NPCs were in the game the entire time instead of actually, playing the game and enjoying the game. Well, apparently, Kat Bailey did the same thing, but was struggling so hard to find problems that the only problem she found was this. So if you look at this picture, there's a graffiti with the word hard on the wall, right? And this graffiti happens to be next to a in-game shop that goes by the name R Shop. So the IGN journalists thought that it was in their best interest to say, well, this is racism. This is a racial phrase. This is a racial phrase. If you have the word hard next to a shop called the R Shop, well, you're saying hard R. And we all know what hard R means. Hard R means you hate black people. You guys realize how stupid that sounds? Like, even just saying it sounds retarded, right? Even saying it sounds retarded. I can't even say that with a straight face because there is no way that you can convince me you are playing this game to enjoy the game and you decided to go so far as to reach for this as a means of trying to disparage the game. There's no fucking way. Right? And then on top of that, too, it's not even as if they're the same thing. Right? It's not like somebody graffitied hard R. Or it's not like the shop is called the hard R shop. This is two separate things that coincidentally were put together and they tried to find offense in it. And of course, the person who's looking for offense, the person who's looking for racism, the person who's looking for any kind of discussion regarding marginalized groups is the white female. It's the white leftist female trying to be offended for everybody else except themselves. This happens all the time. All the time. It is always a white leftist female, like 99% of the time. This is a joke. This is a joke. Please find me one black person who's offended by this. Even the leftist, hardcore leftist black people, I don't think I've seen any of them offended by this. Not yet, anyway. I'm sure maybe some of them will pretend. But this is crazy. This is crazy. You got to be reaching. And then here's the best part. In this same article, right? Whether that Park Place's article or even IGN's article, they both say and they both admit that the word hard is graffitied like this all throughout the game. So there's some places in the game that the word hard is graffitied and is not next to the R Shop. And there's some places that it is graffitied and it is next to the R shop. This happens to be one of them. So you cannot claim that this is racism. This is not even close. How do you know the hard R means, like, with black people? How do you know that? How do you know hard R means black people? It can mean anything. Hard R can be speaking about the word retarded, right? The only people who saw hard and R next to each other and thought racism was white people. They're the only ones. When I saw this picture, I was just thinking it said harder. Like literally harder. That's what I thought. Or like some of you guys in the chat are saying hard rock. Hard R could mean anything. But I was thinking it was saying harder. That's what I was thinking. And again, it's like a pass it and you miss it kind of a thing. Like you have to actively be looking at every nook and cranny in the world in order to find something like this. There's just no fucking way. There's no way. You must have been walking outside this shop. So here's the best part about all this. You guys ready for the irony? Here's the best part about all this. You got R shop and R. The R part, right, is meant to be some sort of like verification that it's like a racist thing, right? The R part. That's what makes it racist, right? If you had the word hard by itself, it won't be racist. If you had the letter R by itself, it wouldn't be racist, right? But the R is what makes hard racist, according to these crazy leftists, right? Okay, so R in this segment means black people. R in this scenario means black people, according to these insane leftists. Now, here's the most hilarious thing about all this. If the letter R is what makes this racist, and it's supposed to represent black people, you mean to tell me that now it is in their best interest, Sony's best interest, to put the word crime next to the letter R? After we just had the conversation that R is supposed to be what made it racist in the first place. So now you're putting the word crime next to the letter R. So what are you saying? Black people do crime? Like, what are we doing? You didn't even think this through. This is worse. This is worse. Holy shit. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. This is hilarious. And to think that they're celebrating this. They're celebrating this as some sort of a win. Bro. Flat out, this is the most stupid thing that I have ever seen in my life. By far. If you agree, like the stream. If you disagree, dislike the stream. I don't care. This is the most stupid thing I have ever seen. This is a nothing burger to the max. I have seen so many different nothing burgers. Sometimes I've even reported on nothing burgers. Let's be real. But this is a literal example of a massive nothing burger. They're so desperate to try to get a win against Stellar Blade that they will do literally anything. Anything that they possibly can. They will seriously report on anything to try to downplay this game. And nothing was working prior to this. Nothing was working. And now they got their little win. They got their little censorship that they've been craving. Imagine craving censorship against a video game so it can fit your narrative. Because they're trying to say that this game needed consultancy. That's what they're trying to say. That's what they've been trying to say. A game like this needs consultancy. It needs sensitivity readers. It needs this. It needs that. And they're trying to use this accidental supposed racism with the hard R as them saying, well, you should have had sensitivity readers. Maybe they would have caught it. Really? Here's what this really is about. And I'm going to close this out with this, okay? This is people who do not have real jobs. And I don't mean that lightly. I don't even mean that jokingly. They literally don't have real jobs. They have to make up issues, and then they have to be the ones who provide the solution. If there is no issues to be had, then there is no solution to give. Thus, they don't have a job. They need to find problems. When they look at games like this, their entire job and purpose is to find problems. The more problems they can find, the more chances they're going to get hired or the more they're going to get paid. Without those problems, they have nothing. That's the only reason why these people exist. So when they find stuff like this, somebody, and ironically, it was a journalist or journalist that found it, not even a consultancy group. But when a games journalist finds a problem like this is not even a problem. This is a made-up problem. Nobody would have saw this and thought racism. And again, like I said earlier in the stream, to repeat myself twice, the only fucking people who saw racism at hard R was white leftists who were playing this game disingenuously to look at any single problem they could possibly find, no matter how minuscule it is, just so they could say they own the chuds. That's it. They wanted to get the game censored, even if it's in the smallest, most stupid fucking way. They wanted to make it happen. And Sony, in my opinion, Sony's the one that bent the knee, not Shift Up. Shift Up didn't bend the knee because they didn't even see this as racist in the first place, because it's not. There is zero things racist about this. And then they try to say, oh, it's a phrase. It's a racist phrase. No, it's not. Hard R can mean a lot of different things. Sure, it is tied to the N-word, sure. But it's also tied to the word retarded as well. Just like the hard F word, right? What's the hard F word mean for people? It can mean Melanie Mac word. It can mean fuck. It can mean literally anything. So again, this is just another way for them to try to get a win over the gamers. The gamers that they hate so much, the gamers that they know are going to make this game way more successful than the game that's our next topic.